Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this particular video, I'd like to talk about Doctor Who, specifically relating to that great topic of companions who never were in the history of Doctor Who. These are, once again, background characters who served some significance or stood out to me for one particular reason or another, whether they were good, bad, in between. And for this particular choice, I'm going, once again, with a classic companion that never was. Going back to the first Doctor era, all the way back to the beginning with the first ever Dalek serial, released as the Daleks, but of course it has been known under other titles like the Mutants and stuff like that, which sees the first Doctor and his companions Ian, Barbara, and Susan, his granddaughter, coming across the planet Skaro for the first time in the Doctor's history, and meeting the Daleks, of course, as well as the sort of, sister species on the planet Skaro, the Thals. And it's one of the Thals that I always thought would have been an interesting companion on further adventures with the Doctor. In this particular case, it's the character of Antodus, who is the, I think, younger brother of Ganidus in this story. And he's a very sheepish, sort of questionable character. Someone who, if captured by the Daleks, probably would have caved under the pressure and sold everybody out if he, had the promise of saving his own life. Because there was an event that had to do with this whirlpool sort of lake sitting outside the Dalek city on Skaro that scarred him. It was like he, his brother, and three or four other, Thals who had gone out pillaging for food or what have you, gathering food. They were a peaceable species, not actually going and antagonizing the Daleks or Khalids, as it were. And that whole history has been sort of murky. I mean, there are different versions of the relationship between Thals and Daleks, but I digress. In any case, at this particular lake, there was, a creature down inside it or what have you that must have attacked their fellow Thals, and only he and his brother returned. So he was forever scarred by that. Now, Antodus is a character that, he's constantly whining. His brother is constantly having to ride on him and tell him, man up, be an adult. We have to deal with this. These Daleks are going to destroy our world. They want to destroy our way of life. We have to do something. This after, of course, Ian and the First Doctor are sort of integral in showing them that their peaceable way of life, while honorable, is also going to have the Daleks wipe the floor with them, irradiate the world so that nothing but the Daleks can survive. So they have to save themselves and preserve themselves. And Antodus is very much just sheepish and skulking and very scared. He's on the brink of a nervous breakdown the entire time. Eventually, it leads to a sort of self-sacrifice once they've gone underground in these caverns to try to get up inside the Dalek city without being seen. And I won't exactly explain how he sacrifices himself, but, he gains the better part of valor in that moment because it saves Ian. And I highly recommend you go and check out that original Dalek serial if you want to know how that all plays out. It's worth the watch tenfold. But of course, I always thought it would have been interesting if the TARDIS had been able to save him after that act. Once he had completed that, once he had gotten over his fear and done something heroic, it would have been very interesting to sort of elongate and prolong that revelation on journeys in the TARDIS with the Doctor. Of course, it would have had to unwrite what we got with Ian, Barbara, and Susan, and I wouldn't want to do that by any stretch of the imagination, but I just think it would have been an interesting sort of self-discovery mission for this particular character, Antodus, if he had been on further adventures in the TARDIS, in time and space, encountering aliens, no doubt being a male equivalent of the often, screaming companion slash assistant who's always getting captured by the bad guys and so on and so forth, and having to learn, that there's more to life than just sort of letting yourself go. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you agree with this particular choice or not. What other, from classic to modern series, companions that never were, you would like to have seen. And otherwise, that'll be it for me. So I'll catch you later. Peace.